Yo, welcome back to another episode of S.Y.S.M. It's your boy Just Right. Got a couple special guests with me today. Got my man Head back, William Head. We back again, you've seen him before. And I got a very special guest. I got my cousin, Mr. Reggie Trotman on the show today.
What up, peoples? What up?
Man, listen, he done been here before. So, you know, you pretty much my special guest today. Listen, just thinking about you being on the show, I knew I was gonna have to talk about, music, man. We're gonna get into talking about some music, man.
No doubt.
And
no doubt.
So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to ask you, and asking both of y'all, like, when did you know that you had I know you for sure, like, when did you know you had a real passion for music? Like, for wanting to create it, as well as, not just enjoying it, but wanting to create it. Like, when did you know that?
It's a good question. I think that's two stages to that question, because first of all, I think in order to have that passion for it and to know that you like it, you have to first partake in it. Meaning that, listening to music and also realizing that you might like it or listen to something and hear it from a different perspective than the average person does.
Right.
Because everybody likes music, but some people really, 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 really love it.
Right.
So,
Well, I consider you one of those people. That's why I'm asking you. Like, everybody like music here for sure. Yeah. But I feel like you got a passion for it. You're gonna know everything down to who did, who produced it, who wrote it, who did, you get into all of it. And, you've been like that for a long while. So if somebody could see your computer and see your how you got everything set up, it's crazy.
Well,
it's crazy, man. Oh my goodness.
But that's the whole thing, because it's just like whether it's sports. I think a lot of people, when they play sports, they started because, say for instance, they was watching it with their dad when they was growing up, and they got excited like that. It's the same thing for me. So if you are growing up, for lack of better words, in a musical family, and you get to see things from a different perspective too. But I think that the love of music was always there for me. But the other part of that is when I actually wanted to dive in and understand music from a creative standpoint. That's where the other side happens. That's when you start being at the studio or seeing what somebody's doing and, listening, learning to listen from production from a different point.
Yeah, you actually seen it being created, like, so it made it easier to want to create, like, to be honest, like, I'm thinking about Lost Love, like, if you remember, like,
Wow.
Listen, how old was we? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably about maybe 10.
You know what I'm saying? And we writing songs and trying to, come up. So, and it was because we were seeing it, being created. That's right. I think that's when I had to say that I knew, and then I fell off of that for a long while, but getting back into writing with you was like, you kind of just jump right back on it, like it was something that I feel like I always loved as well,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just period, just doing something you love, it does, it make you feel good. That's what it's all about. We were just talking about that too. But yeah, man, I mean, so where y'all at with it right now, like, as far as music, man? What you loving?
That's so hard.
It is, because it's so much that's out there.
Yeah, it's
so much out there. Like,
man, it's too much different music.
Let me make it.
R&B, hip hop is.
All right, so let's touch the R&B side then. Okay, today, the 2000s or the 90s. Would today just be considered the 2000s too? Just
That's what I'm asking you. Is it 2000?
No, I would do. Let's do it in decades, because it'd be 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020.
Yeah. What you taking? Starting with the 90s though. Well, we can start with the 80s.
Maybe the 70s.
We can go with the 70s. You know what I'm saying? For real. That might win, right?
I mean, the 70s though. I mean, come on, man. Jesus.
What you think, man? What you got, man?
I can't pick from them, man. They all gave me something different, but I grew up in the 90s, so
yeah,
I could say now I'm more familiar with 90s, which sometimes let me know that it ain't better than older music, because for real, the 90s might be the start of when it wasn't the best. After the late 90s, maybe. But
late 90s.
Yeah, late 90s going 2000, it merged with hip hop. It was doing and they called that R&B, and then they tried to change the other shit to neo soul when it's really all R&B.
Right.
You know, they did that move.
Right.
But so like that, all the soul stuff, which was R&B for me, the Anita Bakers and all that growing up.
Yeah.
That was the joint.
Yeah.
The Saturday morning joint when you cleaning up joints. That was, you know, that's what you listen to.
Right.
That was great R&B. And then the 90s came.
And then you got your Jodeci's and
change a little bit.
Yeah. I go 90s too, because that being the thing I'm most familiar with. But when just even playing around talking about the 70s, like really when you think about it, man, as far as like love songs and stuff like that.
Oh, 70s, man, that's what I'm saying.
That might.
What's the Motown and all that? And they just era, man.
Yeah, that might actually be the
as far as R&B, what I mean. What I'm thinking, rhythm and blues, like how it kind of whatever.
Well, so what did I ask you? Did I ask you about the best or your favorite? Because
you said what you listening to, or which one you prefer, I guess.
Yeah. So what would be your favorite out of the eras at this point if you had to choose one?
Man, I hate to be that dude who's gotta, kind of muddy it up, but I gotta muddy it up, if we talking about content, it's the 70s.
Okay.
70s have way better content. I totally agree with you, Head. But if you talk about the history and the memories, it's got to be the 90s, because that's where we was coming of age. That's where we came in. So,
right.
My backdrop to love, my backdrop to partying, my backdrop to everything was the 90s. Boys, the Man, and Jodeci.
Yeah.
But content-wise, when it comes to a musical standpoint, they ain't touching the musicality of the OJs or Marvin Gaye. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's where they got they start, and they understand it. So content-wise, I got to pick the 70s all day. But when it comes to what I'm vibing to, what makes me when it comes on the radio, I'm gonna stop whatever I'm doing. Yeah. Shy if I ever, come on, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
Soundtrack to our life for sure.
That's right. That's right.
Nah, that's a great way to put it.
We would put them songs on voicemail.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just cut mine off the other day, man.
That's for you, baby.
Yeah, you gotta put. Hey, this is Reggie. Just talking to you and busy right now. So you leave your name and your number. I get back with you as soon as possible.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Them were the days, wasn't it? Yeah. They don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, I definitely have to say the 90s, so I think we all agree on that. Hip hop.
Ooh.
Hip hop.
90s for me. 90s all
day.
day.
Yeah, man, I can't do the 80s like that, but it's not even close to me because of that. I grew up probably at the perfect time for hip hop, and they see stuff like that. I know people can say it's opinion. Stuff like that can kind of almost be fact from the time that hip hop came out, from what it did, and then how it started influencing it. It's right, it's like something going up, and then it catch us as we growing up. So we go with the
Right.
You know what I mean? We had the best kind of experience, because then it went like that, then it did like that. It just got flat. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Everybody do the mainstream shit, like we was talking about earlier. This what y'all play on the radio. Every radio play the same thing.
Right.
Maybe we give you a day where you can play something that's old school, but it ain't gonna be old school. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like when I was growing, like a jam on the radio could literally be Brenda Got a Baby, Keep Your Head Up. This could be a jet like number one, like on the radio.
Right.
But it wasn't like now it's every song. Like, yeah, ain't that the one joint? Oh, that's just like the other joint. Oh, that's crazy.
I told my little cousin a while ago that we come from the last generation of hip hop where everybody wanted to be different. Not saying that they didn't try to sound like other people, but overall, Biden was not a good thing.
Right.
You know, everybody was trying to be different and find a way creatively to be different.
Right. At least in the music,
it ain't like that anymore. You know, especially with, you know, you got this person sound like this person sound like this person. It's okay. I understand the business of it and all that, but creativity is lacking. Super. Overall in entertainment, man. And creativity is lacking.
I agree.
No. What was you saying, man?
No, I was about to say, and then from an image standpoint, when for our like era of hip hop, we was able to start identifying and being whoever we wanted to be too.
Right.
Like even what's messed up about the '70s, I love the '70s, but it was acts. It was like it was gimmicky. But I remember I said this before. Everything is a gimmick in a way, because a gimmick is nothing to sell something. In the long run. That's why I said that one day. Everybody got a gimmick. If you make this song, you know it's for this. This a club joint. Boom, boom. That's a gimmick. You know what I mean? So, but as far as the identity of the image of the artist, we was all able to be different through the '90s. You know what I mean? You had this person, they like this. He like this. This like this. That's what he rap about. No matter, even if they rap the same, he got a different whole. He ain't on the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in the '70s, it was, you know, throw people together, suit, dance, do a number, turn around, spin. It was an act.
Slide.
Literally, that's what they called them. And it's still like that today on a whole nother level for real. There's music acts. Because a lot of these people ain't, you know, who they say they are. But, you know, that's a whole nother conversation, though.
Yeah.
Now, so what exactly are you saying about that in terms of the acts? You didn't like that or you did?
I liked it because that's the circumstance I grew up in. I just know where it come from. It's like anything else. I like soul food. I know where the hell that come from too.
So, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. Let me ask y'all how y'all feel about scared of y'all answers, but
don't be scared.
Coming to America.
Ooh, I wasn't prepared for that. Okay.
Talked about this before already. Man, I think we talked about it at the All-Star joint. First hour of it, I'm like, damn, this is about to be up there with the first one. The first hour was cool for me. And then it kind of went into the, you know, paying homage to the movie. You know what I mean? All that. And they just doing too much and they trying to squeeze all this. And this, which was already kind of a long movie for a comedy, almost 2 hours or something. But they tried to squeeze too much. And it didn't get whack. Because I just didn't want them to mess up the first one. Which they didn't do. They made a good movie. It was decent. It's getting a lot of flack now, but it don't really deserve that flack. Because it never was going to be the first one.
Is it getting a lot of flack? I ain't really.
Yeah, it's all people like killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been seeing people
like
just in my timeline or something say it's
but that was, you know, it's like cliche killing it though. Like the stuff that you always kill in a sequel. It's like, well, we knew it wasn't gonna become American. But they did a good job. But they started doing too much though. They said they almost. I was literally kind of expecting an old ass Samuel to come out with a beanie
and rob him again
and have a shotgun. Like no bull, like I wouldn't have. That wouldn't have been out of my for what they had already did in the movie. And like that kind of stuff, I was kind of like.
They came with bitches and all that.
Yeah, it was just like.
You didn't want to see Randy Watson.
They forced it because he's the most popular character, so you kind of got to put him in there. So it's hard for me to be like, man, they couldn't throw him on there because if they threw everybody else, you got to throw Randy Watson in there. But
Randy Watson
you know,
I guess we probably should have put a disclaimer on this for those who ain't seen it yet. We about to talk about Coming to America 2.
You can edit that in.
Yeah. You might not want to watch.
I mean, you can watch that.
They better see Coming to America 2 by now. I done waited.
Yeah, you can watch that at home.
Man, I waited for the weekend. That was an event for us because you know, Coming to America.
We did this.
I was just talking to my girlfriend about this because she's a little bit younger, not too much younger, y'all, but she's a little bit younger. So I was telling her that Coming to America, when we watched it in our generation, that was the equivalent of almost how Black Panther was. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
a big deal.
It was a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was the fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny how those two also have a lot of commonalities to it, because Coming to America is about a fake country, African country, Zamunda,
right.
You know, and then you got Wakanda. You also had things on there where the majority of the crews, the majority of the actors were all black, and they don't happen like that a lot. Right. And that was like the highest selling film, black film of that time. I mean, one of the highest selling, period. But of its time, it was kind of like the same type of scenarios, and I find that kind of deep, man. You know, where you know people are into those type of movies, our movies, and it just shows that we can make those. You know, so kudos to Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, and everybody else first, before I either trash or like the movie.
Right.
So, what did you think?
I liked it.
Oh, wait a minute.
I liked it. Like
scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
A scale of 1 to 10? I'd give it like a...
I'll go out and
for me, it's either going to be a scale of 1 to 10. Well, okay, for me, a good movie, like a good movie.
Yeah. So let's start here. What's your favorite movie? Like of all time. You got a favorite movie of all time?
Probably Malcolm X, for real. Like if I had to narrow everything down, because I'm about to go through this whole thing where, man, there's different genres. I like this. I don't want to go through that. I could, you know what I mean? Because Malcolm X is my favorite romantic comedy, but Malcolm X is like, I would probably say my favorite movie.
And what would you rate that from 1 to 10? Just 10. To give it a rating.
10
so
for me. Like,
10.
As far as everything impact, what I seen, I like it.
So what would you give Coming to America?
Well, I mean, it was already. I was already trying to say if y'all think like anything under a 5 is bad. That's really where I was going. But because like 5 is down the middle.
5 is average.
Like, okay, so I give it like a 5. Like I give it a 5 when I thought for real it was about to be down there maybe a 7 or 8. I thought they was about to like, oh shit, they surprised me with this one. And then I started thinking of the time, and I was like, they ain't got time for that shit because they got to put Eddie Murphy. He really the star. So even though it's about his son, who his son is portraying Eddie like was back in the day, they can't spend as much time on that relationship because he's not really the star. Eddie Murphy's still the star. So they got to split that time up. Even though, so I'm thinking they could go there, but they ain't got the time, and I feel them. Like they still got basically Eddie Murphy. They got to get all this other shit in. But if we would have spent a little bit more time with that, and they could have went to some games or some shit or whatever the equal was that Eddie was doing, which they didn't have time to do because they had to do Eddie shit too. Right. We could have had a damn near better classic because they wouldn't have had to put all that bullshit in. But you can't. I get it. That's Hollywood. You got to do the shit that's going. Whatever.
Yeah, and after because this is the same thing you said and you asked me, did you already talk about it? You did tell me this, you know what I'm saying, and you made me feel those points in a way, but I still just liked it, and now I just don't go that far. Yeah, like I know how far you go with your critique. Mine's is just that shit was funny as fuck to me, so I'm cool with it. But so I mean, you know what I'm saying. But I honestly do get that. So you asked me like 1 to 10, it would be that 7 or 8 you was talking about. That's right where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? 7.5 or something is what I would give it because I wouldn't ding them for those things, but I get. You know what I'm saying? I totally get why you say what you say on that. And I feel like if they would have did what you're saying, like I honestly feel like it would have been better. You know what I'm saying? I do. I can actually get that point, but I'm like, fuck it, they ain't do that. They did it that way, and it's cool. It was just shit funny.
But that's how I feel. I feel like that too. Yeah. I only have opinions about certain stuff if it get deep. It's literally because somebody asked.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I feel like
if I'm in any kind of situation, I'm like, oh man, that was shit. I like that. Like if somebody talk about Coming to America, I ain't gonna jump in like, man, it was alright, but look, let me tell you this shit. I'm just like, nah, it's funny. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I'm thinking like the reason you asking me is so I don't give you the same answer. Like let me tell you what I really think about it. It was a good ass movie, but could have been a lot better. That's what I mean, that type of shit. And the 7 or 8, the only thing about that is. You got to start asking yourself what your 10 movies is, and I know you can take 1,000 points over that. Like if you start doing it like that. Like
Coming to America is a 10 to me. Like the regular Coming to America.
Right. That's like a 10. Couple notches under that.
I mean, maybe 6 or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you go that way because you make me look at it like that. I don't want it to be that close, and I don't want people to think I'm crazy.
Because when you said 7 to 8, I just put it automatically on the female scale. I was like. Damn! Coming to America 2 ain't that bad.
Right, you still
She ain't that bad, bro. She's straight. She like She alright.
She alright.
She fine.
She decent.
Like, she ain't.
I ain't going 5, but I feel
7 or 8.
I go 6.
You can wipe
That's
for
a
7
whole
or 8.
half a point and a half off of what I said though, and that's that's real. 6.
And that shit
I'm gonna go 6.
Misogynistic as hell.
I'm gonna go 6.
That's how we used to talk.
No, that's real. That's real.
That's real. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna go 6. That shit, that's a little too close, and she ain't that bad, but yeah, I feel you stupid as fuck. You made me switch my shit. Nah.
Yeah, you can take her out to the mall and everything. She's straight. She's straight. I feel that way about it too. I feel it was a decent movie.
Question is, should they have done it? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? What do you feel?
The same.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was needed. I mean,
I was scared.
And they didn't fuck it up. So
but they could have.
Yeah.
I was scared. But the only thing is, keep it real. They could have fucked up part 2. They couldn't have fucked up part 1 though. It's still a class. It would have been one of those where why they even come out with that part 2 shit. Like nobody wouldn't have cared. Nobody wouldn't have been like, man, 2 just fucked up one for me. Nobody wouldn't have cared.
They waited too long. I mean, I'm not gonna say that's a negative thing or a positive, but they waited too long for it to really have that impact. Because they are 2 different.
You talking about the Coming to America?
1 and 2.
Oh, it's 30 years.
30 years. You know, we understand that, but the majority of people gonna be watching this are gonna be watching it from a different perspective.
It is the time for these type of movies, our climate. Like, give us all some black stuff. We love it, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, because, you know, I'm sure it's people, especially a pandemic, is home, like, watching Coming to America 1 with their parents, like, damn, you know what I mean? Whatever, however they took it in.
Yeah.
So it's, like, good that it came out at this time. Like, so what people want to be like, what is that, man? I'm about to go see Black Widow. What you talking about? Something I might have been on. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that shit, I like it, man. I like it.
How many times have you watched it?
Yeah, I was gonna say I watched it a few times.
One time.
Yeah, I watched it once. I'll watch it again.
I will too. I was about to watch it at work the other day, but
yeah, you don't watch it. How many times?
I'm saying about 3-4 times.
You laugh every time?
Yeah, the function.
Bro, nothing did. The father saying nothing got funnier than that to me.
That shit was funny as
funnier
fuck.
than that to me.
Which one?
When he was dying, man. When he was like, bro, I'm about to die, man. Throw me a funeral party.
He said, I'm gonna die now.
Hey, we about to ruin this movie for anybody who ain't seen it, alright? I'm just telling you right now.
That's why I was so hyped on the first hour, man. I was like, oh my God.
Tear this up for y'all.
Y'all got this kind of comedy, man?
He said, I'm gonna die now.
But first he said, son, I need you to throw me the best funeral, man.
It should be spectacular. He said it should be spectacular. You know, man, the motherfuckers to a party.
He came up like.
But if you can go,
man,
keep it all real.
That's the best way to go. That's
way to go.
That's what
he said. He was happy.
I was like,
He done had
You can see what everybody think about you.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gonna go. That's the way to go.
That shit, man, I never seen no shit like that. That shit was funny as fuck, man.
That shit was hilarious.
It was, man. So he said after that, it didn't get no funnier than that.
Man, it was just. It was going for a minute off of that. I was riding off that.
Right.
I was like, okay.
Right.
And then something came in there, and I started seeing it start getting rushed.
Let me ask y'all this though. Overall though, before I even leave that topic, we got your opinions about it, but overall, like if somebody asked you, did you like the movie?
Oh yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, somebody was like, man, you like that company? I'm like, yeah.
It's definitely a C.
Yeah.
Must see.
Yeah, you gotta see.
I wouldn't even throw in the man, it ain't better than the first one. I'd just be like, man, that shit was good.
Right.
I think they had asked me though.
And we agreed that it was comedy the way that Wesley Snipes was strolling down the thing.
Oh my God,
yeah. Wesley was comedy.
That witch doctor spitting, man. That got me.
That shit was nasty, man. That shit was nasty, man.
Was that Arsenio?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was Eddie though, but
I was asking my wife, I was like, man, it's crazy because I can't tell. The makeup is so crazy.
If it's Arsenio or Eddie.
Yeah, because I kept saying like, man, it's gotta be Arsenio or Eddie.
Right.
The barbershop, man, them niggas are still funny, man.
Now see, they was still consistent.
Yeah.
Right. They weren't corny. That shit was just perfect. You know what I mean?
He said, whoa.
Whoever wrote that probably kill your baby.
You going too far.
You went too far, man.
That shit was comedy.
You're too far.
That shit was hilarious, man. So I mean, it had its moments to me that was really good, man, that I enjoyed. So yeah, I just have to say I like it, but Judas and the Black Messiah, man. Have y'all both watched that?
Yes.
Feel about it, man. Like, I mean, they told the story from the perspective of Wild Bill. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they did a good enough job of portraying who Fred Hampton was to somebody who doesn't know?
Yes.
Yeah,
but
I would say yeah. I think so.
This is my one issue that I have with that movie. I love the movie, but the thing that just kept on catching me, and I think we talked about this, was that Fred Hampton's character, I think he did too much of a lisp. You know, he should have. Even though I know Fred Hampton had a real
about this, man. We
ain't talking about this. Well, I've been talking to so many people, you know, it's like the barbershop. Everybody asking the same questions, you know. I was trying to keep my serious face. You know, I thought we talked about it though. I done talked about it a lot. That's my one. Everybody that you know will be like, hey, did you like that movie?
What you talking about? A list, man.
I didn't like I think that he went too heavy into the role, man. Yeah, he overdid it because.
That is funny as fuck, bro.
No, I couldn't understand a lot of stuff he was saying. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to be the character and go into it, but you gotta understand what the nigga's saying. You know, you can't be like,
oh my god,
yeah,
bro.
man. You know, I was over there buzzing and get the grump, and then you just jump up and down because you Newton said that.
But they say something.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. Yeah, I was like, man, come on, dude.
He said what's funny about that and what's fucked up though is because I feel like he was probably speaking better than Fred, man. Fred talk like that, bro.
Yeah, but
Fred talk worse than me.
But that's the thing that they didn't do.
Fred, he's the revolutionary. Fred, the real Fred talk like that, bro.
Fred Hampton was working on it though, and I think that they should have. You could have did it, but you didn't have to go all the way into it, man. You know what I mean?
When the oxygen for that, you don't want to.
You go down. You
don't want to see a light up. You don't want to see a light up. Fred just say, hey man, you can be a great man and talk bad as hell, man.
You can be a great man and talk bad as hell.
Yeah, he made his living off talking.
Yeah.
So they understood him. It's just funny. Like his homies would be cracking on him. Like that's the first thing they're bringing up.
I ain't gonna lie, I had to rewind a few things just to understand what he said.
That's my whole point. They shouldn't have did that.
I felt like, man, what?
They should have did that, man.
That's how he is, though. I looked up mad shit before Hampton, bro.
You know,
that's how he talked, bro. He did a great job.
But that's why, you know what, I said that he should have Hollywooded it out because
they would have crisped that up and he had people on his back for that. Yeah. Fred didn't talk that proper.
Right.
No, they could have went from there. So they could have. I'm gonna say this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say, baby, can you bring me some chicken upstairs? All right. So I'm gonna do it how he did it. This is his Fred Hampton. Baby, give me some chicken upstairs. You know what I'm saying? He could have went here, baby. Can you bring me some chicken upstairs? You could have did that. You could have did that.
He said,
but they chose not to. And I think it kind of hurt the movie.
No, it did
hurt the movie, man. Y'all crazy. It hurt the movie, all right?
I think it kind of hurt the movie.
Baby,
they just both things like.
That shit ain't hurt it at all.
Man, that hurt the movie. What's going on because of that?
That hurt the movie for me, man. You gotta rewind it. You said that you stopped and rewinded it. You couldn't even. Oh, so man. that didn't hurt the flow of the movie.
You're speech shaming, man.
Man, that was worse.
You got a problem speaking, man.
Because I could tell, I know what he said, but I
wasn't cracking on it.
I was probably wanting to get it exact
about
some shit, but yeah, man, that shit ain't stop nothing, man.
It stopped.
Man, you silly as fuck for that.
No, man, that's real, man. They didn't have to do Fred like that. They could have, everybody else, you can have somebody who's ugly as hell and did some amazing stuff, and then they're gonna get a beautiful woman to play that person. You know what I'm saying? Or they gonna always Hollywood up that stuff. You know, they Hollywood up everything else. Why couldn't they Hollywood up his voice? I know he came in for the role like that. He got the role because he did that.
So do the chicken thing again. How should he have did it?
Baby, can you bring me some chicken upstairs? No, I don't want a breast. I want a thigh. Give me the thigh and the wing. Give me the thigh and the wing. You ain't got to do all that. I can do that, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be all, baby, give me some chicken upstairs. Man, tonight we gonna look at Fred Hampton and we gonna do the Judas and the Messiah. And everything gonna be good. Man, they ain't have to do that, man. He should have been a little bit more pronounced because it is Hollywood. And I think, me personally, I'm talking from my perspective, it affected it. It affected the whole.
So you didn't like it?
It's not that I like it. I said I liked the movie.
Oh, you did like it?
Yeah, I liked the movie.
Right.
I just.
You feel like he went too hard.
He went way too hard, and he's British, so I think he was on top of being British. He's trying to do a Midwestern accent.
But if you know you're overcompensating, that's what I'm saying. Man, you gotta give him.
No, you don't, man. He is an actor. You don't have to give him that.
He did a damn good job. He an actor. He did a good job. Though.
He did.
Don't act like you acting like
a decent
now you
job.
changing it like
He did it. No, I said the. I think what's his
you
name?
say he do it. You ain't say he did a good job. He basically was average. That's an average actor performance.
He did a good job acting. I just didn't like the voice. Everything else but the voice was great for me.
Okay, I got you.
That ain't his regular voice. He was acting like he was Fred Hampton.
And I think he didn't do a good job.
So he didn't do a good job.
No,
I
I think
feel
that
what
voice was
you're
too.
You saying because he English trying to act like an American person with a speech impediment. Probably somebody American could have got the speech impediment better.
I'm saying I don't care if it was Denzel doing it. If he would have had that same vocal, I would have said exactly the same thing. Like he went too far in. He just.
Oh, I don't think he thought it was personal to Daniel.
I'm
thinking you going straight off the.
Yeah, I'm going off the
sound.
Yeah, that's what it was. It just.
That's what I'm saying. If an American, I see what you got that from. I'm saying like if an American probably got a better sense of it, like literally, like since they from America,
yeah,
maybe because he looking at it in English, but he got to do it just like Fred Hampton, so he just straight imitating the dude with a speech impediment instead of imitating the dude that's struggling with a speech impediment. So maybe come in and out. I ain't just imitating the straight. Right. This is how he talk all the time, and ain't never no clearness. It's just
right.
You know what I mean?
Just to make it clear, because I don't want nobody thinking I'm shaming him or whatever. But I'm just saying that I think that more importantly in that particular movie, it should have been how is this coming across to the audience? Because for me, and obviously for you, you may not want to admit it, but you just said that you had to rewind it.
Like it's not. I mean, honestly, like when I watched it the first time, I watched it a few times.
Okay.
I probably watched it all the way through. But when I watched it again, just probably want to know exactly what he said. But I always knew what he was saying. It was never a time I didn't know what he was saying. If that makes sense to you, like
yeah,
you know
there's no wrong with watching a movie like that, though.
Right. I wanted to hear.
But there's a difference. There's a difference from getting further clarity to not being clear at all and just trying to figure out what he's saying.
Well, the music, it's millions of times where you ain't catching the same you heard the first time you heard it.
That's real.
At all.
Right.
That's real.
But it don't take away the quality of it. It's like
Sometimes
you just go back.
Sometimes it does. Oh yeah, for me it does.
Like a first performance or just the sound. Every time you hear it,
I'll give you one.
You basically don't sound like you know what he's saying.
I'll give you one. Wow, this is gonna be dope. D'Angelo's last album. What was it, Black Messiah? Or something, whatever it's called. I did not like that album for one reason. The quality. So you already knew where I was going. So you must have felt the same way or at least understood it. And so it does. Quality matters because you've got to be able to convey that to the audience in a way that they can digest it. If it's not digestible, then you're going to have to deal with a whole bunch of stuff just to get it digestible. And that's not the audience's, that's not their place. That's the direction. That's the actors. That's the whole, the whole thing is to make it digestible.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah,
I digested it
people
pretty
don't
easy.
digest it though. Like you can't. To make something digestible for everybody is impossible. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, I mean, that's whatever. You got to pick his battles with that. I don't think it should be feeling like, man, I did a bad job because I wish these people would have heard me better. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like some people heard me, some people didn't. But if you wanted to hear me, you can find out what the hell I was saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whine a couple times, but you
can find out what I'm saying. You can throw the subtitles on. You can, you know what I mean? You can go look at the real documentary Fred Hampton if you really try to get something out the movie, unless you just want to be entertained.
Right.
But the movie, I hope, wasn't just to be like, hey, let me throw this little semi-action movie about this Black Panther dude. I hope it was more so kind of like awareness.
But that's the whole point, because if you can't understand, how can you be aware?
Man.
You acting like you can't understand this man the whole movie or something. You know the story because the movie come out.
The majority of
if you're a person and you go to the movies and you be like, man, I don't understand what he's talking about. I ain't trying to learn nothing about Fred Hampton. I'm cool. I don't, whatever. I ain't even talking about them people, but I'm talking about if you care, whether you understood it or not,
you got it.
You gon', man, you gonna get what you're supposed to get out of it. Maybe you sit on a podcast and be like, man, I don't like the way he's talking. If that's what it get, cool. But if you understand it, that's all that matter. Like, it just did that at all didn't make me like the movie. It was it was funny as hell because I was like, damn. Fred might be worse than you. That's what I was thinking. I was like, he might be bringing some. That's what I was saying when I started out. I'm thinking like, my man got some clarity, Fred. Shit, you go listen to Fred. It's some shit where before it's black and white. Then he up there talking, you like, damn, I gotta literally run this 1,000 times. I can't get no stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there ain't nothing I can do.
Right.
So I felt why he was doing it like that. Because if he would have came out there on some semi-proper.
Right, then I would
have been like, hey man.
I'm not saying semi-proper. I'm just saying a little bit less. I never said that he should have been coming in there like, hey.
No, I feel you. I feel if he can tame it back, like, he acted. I don't know his process.
I don't know if he can tame it back.
Because you work with the music, so it's easy. You can throw that little decimal. You can go right there. I don't know if he can just act and go. I gotta throw my impediment. I gotta either go all the way in.
No, but I think that's a director thing. I don't blame him for doing that. I really
tell him to do it less though. Like, what you gonna say? Like, do it
just what I did.
Act regular or some sayings that do that every once in a while.
I would say make it. It's not coming across. I would just say it's not coming across.
Support your theory too much. Argue with you, but I'm arguing on the other behalf of people that might agree with you, that might hear. Because I understood for real almost everything you was saying. I thought he was doing a better job.
I thought he did a good job.
But I feel you because the way he sound, it had some buckwheat in it. I'm with you. Like, I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It gave me one of those where I was like, a little too slavey. Like, I feel like he was trying to tap into that when you try to talk like a slave a little bit. I felt that a little bit. I know what you mean, but it is take away from it, man.
Yeah. For me it did, but I feel you. I mean, it is what it is. Y'all gotta make y'all haven't seen it, go see it. It's definitely a good movie to go see, but
Daniel Kaluuya let us know what you feel. In the 40s and everybody else in the 60s.
What would you rate from a scale of 1 to 10? What would you rate?
10.
That's probably about like a 7 for real. Strong 7. I'll build a future with a 7 for sure.
I'll have to go.
That's how people used to talk. I'm just joking. I don't know. That's how niggas used to talk, man. The dive. You can have the dive. I mean, it's the longest podcast of all time.
I know. I'm gonna go 8.
You gonna go 8?
Yeah, I like that movie a lot, man.
Which one?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
I'll let you.
I'm gonna go 7.
After all that shit you just talked.
Alright, now when you can rewind this shit and you can see when I first said something, I said I think I said I loved the movie actually.
But you didn't even understand
it. He wasn't even the main character really.
No, you
wasn't. Lakeith Stanfield was. So but his parts where he was going in, I mean it was a little difficult for me to take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Because his voice was just, I feel like he should have did a
Wild Bill.
Wild Bill. Like, man, I never going back. Nah, we gonna go on back over there. You want chicken? Nice, bring the chicken. No, man, I'm not feeling it, man. He could have did a less.
That's why people say the way you say that 7, that type of talk right there.
Yeah, it would have been higher. It would have been. It probably would have made it to an 8. I mean, I took 1 point off. I took 1 point off for that diction, man. Yeah, for diction, man. No, man.